Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Ari. Ari's looking for attention this morning. He does that fairly often, actually. He follows me around and he's got a meow that sounds like somebody's letting all the air out of a balloon. It's too cute. Here's Maggie this morning. And here's Smokey. And as you can see, they are both waiting for access to the living room, which is where they would like to be. But it is fenced off because it's currently exploration time for Tinker and her kids. I think they're mostly done. There's Putter, though. That's good. Oh, and there's Monkey. Look at that. Very cool. Now, Maggie, you stay out for a minute, okay? We can just give me another minute or two, okay? You'll get your turn. I promise. So, she's thinking about jumping over there. Don't do it, Maggie. Please don't. Anyway, here's Monkey and Putter having a good time running around the living room. And I hear someone else running around, but I think they're in the other room, in their room. This is Brooke's favorite bed, as I mentioned, and I'm sure she's also waiting for her chance to come to it. So what can I tell you guys? Yesterday, we started treating these guys for Giardia using Panicure. I think I told you about that in yesterday's close-up. This morning they had their second dose of 5 doses that they will get, and it went pretty well. But it's sort of leading me though. There's Brooke. Brooke has come to. She's also waiting for her chance to come in here and go to her bed, as I can see, just like I said. Anyway, it went pretty well, but I think we're going to trim their nails because especially Dabble and Tinker get a little bit upset about taking the medicine. And I think my hands would be glad if they had just slightly trimmed nails. So we don't normally trim the nails on the kittens, and I think there's good reasons to not do it. There's also good reasons to do it. So I don't have a strong opinion on whether people should or not. If you want to trim your cat's nails, I think you should. And if you don't, I think you shouldn't. That's basically how I feel about it. In our case, one of the reasons that we like to leave kittens' nails untrimmed is because it's important for them to learn how to use their nails and how to not get caught on things. And once they're caught on things, how to get up off of them. And it's also important because when they fall off of stuff, as kittens do way too often, sometimes those nails can be the thing that keeps them from having a longer fall than they otherwise would. Sometimes. So those are some of the reasons that we don't generally do it. But again, I don't think it's a big deal if we do. They're not going to really miss out on anything important. So all that is a fancy way of saying that probably today sometime I will be trimming the nails of everybody in here, especially Mom and Dabble, because they're the ones that I have the biggest issue with. I see that they've knocked the blanket off the beanbag and are having a good old time in here. So here's little Dabble. And there is Trifle. He really does have the Hal eyes, doesn't he? And then the Loganberry face. He's like if Hal and Loganberry were combined into one cat. That seems like what you would get. There's our Monkey. He looks real handsome on that blue beanbag chair, doesn't he? He looks real handsome all the time. And then here's our mom, Tinker. So last night I came to the room and Tinker was sitting by the door, as she almost always does sit by the door. And I opened the door and she indicated that she wanted to go out. So I let her walk out the door. And she did. She wandered around the kitchen and she wandered around the sunroom. And she got to meet Eddie up close. They touched noses. And she got to meet Brooke also, but I didn't let them get close because I was just a little bit more concerned about how Brooke might respond. So I kept them about a foot or two apart at the closest, but even then they were fine. There was no indication that there was going to be trouble. I was just being extra cautious. So that's really cool news that she went out, she got to see some of the faculty, and got to walk around the house, and she was perfectly well behaved. I mean, perfectly well behaved. as she was walking around, she kept making these funny little sad meows the whole time. And I think, personally, that it's probably just how she indicates that she is in heat or maybe looking for some company or something. But it was different than the noises that mom cats would typically make than the typical meows. She's just got a very like sad, quiet meow. I think that's just how she meows when she does. It's a cute, it's like heartbreakingly cute. Her little sad meow that she makes. I'm sure at some point you guys are going to get a chance to hear it. But yeah, my guess is that it's just the fact that it is probably, like Magdalena says, it's about time that she would go into heat. So that's probably all there is to it. And at any rate, it really makes me feel good about the possibility of letting her out to explore the house more and to meet the faculty and maybe even to meet Belle, her mom, at some point if Belle decides to come out. Of course, with Belle's kittens, that's a tougher proposition. I don't know how we're going to arrange it yet, et cetera, but it's something to think about. We got all four kids in the litter box right now. Since everybody's in, I'm going to close up the doors and give the faculty their chance to do their thing now. So let's do that. And then we will go upstairs and see the rest of the kitties. Am I forgetting anything in here? I don't think I am. All right, kiddos, we'll see you later. There we go. All right, Smokey, I know you've just been waiting for this fence to move out of the way. What else can I tell you about our vet trip yesterday? I can tell you that Smokey is getting a new arthritis medicine, and it's new in every sense. It's kind of new in use for cats at all. It's called Adequan, I think, something like that. Adequan, I think, is how it's said. And they've been using it in arthritis in dogs for a little while. It's still pretty new. And now folks are starting to use it for cats too. Supposedly it works great. I know my mom has used it for her dogs and swears by it. So when Elsie was still with us, I know that she had encouraged me to consider it for Elsie at that time. So I'm excited to get Smokey started on that, and it's really interesting. It's an injectable, so you have to inject it. I'm confident that that's not going to be a problem. We've done the insulin and the subcutaneous fluids and all that. I feel very comfortable giving Smokey an injection. But the most interesting thing about it is how often you have to do it. You start her out twice a month. That's 2 injections a month, and then it goes down from there. So you may get to a point where you do it once a month or every other month or something. I mean, who knows? So that's kind of exciting, especially if it's as effective as it's supposed to be. I think Smokey, that could really improve her quality of life quite a bit. So anyway, yeah, so that was part of the vet news yesterday. The other part is that Maggie, apparently we did a urine test just because we do all the tests when we bring our cats in, just to make sure that we're all in good shape. And Maggie, who is acting perfectly healthy, turns out to have a little bit of a UTI. She's got E. coli, and it seems like it's a urinary thing. So I've been calling it P. coli because I'm so clever. So anyway, we're treating Maggie starting today just with a standard antibiotic for cats. Nothing big, so not a big deal. She seems like she's fine. This is Brooke, by the way. And Brooke, is the big news from yesterday, except there's no news yet. We took Brooke to the vet yesterday. She was the real reason that I was there yesterday. And Brooke, as you know, we've been working with the fact that she always tests really, really high blood sugar at the vet. And we thought for sure she was diabetic for a while. But then when we started testing her glucose on a regular basis here, I found out she doesn't seem like she's diabetic at all. So I did my own test. I tested her glucose. I put her in the car. I took her for a little trip to Starbucks and back. And then I tested her glucose again. Before we left, it was normal, and when we got back, it was off the charts. So what we found out, really, is that she's just a very, very nervous cat, and they have that sort of a reaction sometimes. Oh, Loganberry's out in the cat run. Do you see him? Right there? Anyway, that's real common for cats. Like I said, Maggie has that same kind of reaction when she goes to the vet, just not as extreme. There's Maggie. Here we go. Hi, Mags. We were just talking about you. I know. You forgive me for giving you that medicine this morning, don't you? Big old floofer. Um, yes. So Brooke, she just has it appears like she just has a really big stress reaction when we go to the vet, and that causes her blood sugar to spike, and more than even normal. Like, there's a normal amount, and then there's the extreme amount that she has. So, yesterday we brought her to the vet so that we could do a fructosamine test, which is a type of blood sugar test, but it indicates a longer term. So it's not just going to show us how she was yesterday when we went to the vet, but it's going to show us how she is generally. And if that comes out normal, then we can pretty much say, yep, for sure, we've proven it. She's not diabetic. So I feel like we've already proven it, but just for whoever adopts her, I want to be able to say that we did all of the due diligence that we could possibly do. That we did everything to make sure that she was in good health, and that we knew for sure that, we're not just saying, oh, she's not diabetic, don't worry about it, but that we did all the tests we possibly could to prove it. And so the results of that test may come back today or tomorrow, and when they do, I'll be able to tell everybody that she's not diabetic, because I'm sure that's how it's going to come out. So really, really excited about that. I also just want to mention, first off, Mimi, let me interrupt myself for just one second. Mimi, could you use an electric litter box? I haven't tried any of the modern generation of robotic litter boxes, but I tried some in the past, and I just don't like them. I find it's way, way better and easier for us to use a plain old disposable litter box that we can throw out once a month and just to scoop it every morning. Not a big deal. Most of the robotic litter boxes that I've seen don't save you that much work anyway. They still have a tiny hopper. If you've got 7 cats like we do, it fills up right away. They're just not for us. If you have 1 cat or maybe even 2 cats, and that's the way you do it at your house, great. I just don't think we can get away with it here. So sorry to interrupt myself. I wanted to mention one other thing about little Brookie here, which is that, oh, look how cute she's being. She loves the sunny spot. When we took her to the vet yesterday, I knew that she was going to get stressed out, and we wanted to make it as easy as possible. So before we left, a couple hours before we left, I gave her gabapentin, and I also gave her trazodone. Those are both things that will help your kitty calm down, like a Valium. So gabapentin and trazodone, and then to top it off, we gave her Serenia, which is an anti-nausea, so that she wouldn't vomit. And it really did help. It helped a lot. She was much, much calmer. She spent the entire ride to the vet being very calm. Maggie's looking at a bird up there on the bird feeder. That's that noise you hear. Anyway, Brooke was very, very calm all the way to the vet. But then I thought we were going to make it. I thought it was going to work just fine. But we pulled up in the vet's parking lot. I parked the car. I turned off the car. And the very minute I turned off the car, I heard the sound of her vomiting, just a ton of food, which is exactly what happened. So we made it all the way to the vet, and then she vomited everything that she had and made a huge mess. So we were so close. The good news, though, I think for anybody that was going to adopt her is, first off, that combination is pretty effective. And I think if we had done that and then not fed her anything for like 4 hours so that her stomach was empty, we would have been fine. I think we would have been just fine. So that would be my plan for the next time she's got to go to the vet, is to give her the same course of medicine, also to maybe fast her for a little while so that she doesn't have anything to throw up. Then I think she'd be okay. She was real calm yesterday at the vet. The whole time, actually, just so cool and chill and easy. But she wasn't knocked out either. She's, I think her natural nervousness keeps her from being really, hey, speaking of, wants to run up on Maggie and cause some trouble. I know, Maggie, you weren't asking for that. You weren't doing anything. Brooke. So I can laugh because she's not, this is not a cat that is attacking. She's just causing some trouble. Where we've had mom cats that want to start a fight, and they'll chase the cats across the room and around the house and just attack them relentlessly, and that's a bad fight. This is just her being kind of a jerk. So that's all right. I know, I know. Okay. All right. Hey, let's go in and see some kittens. All right. Yeah, so there's definitely things that you learn about what sort of behavior cats are going to have, and that I should also point out that sort of a little leap, that sort of just a quick little smack and then walk away like that. That is what Custard does all day long to Loganberry, and in turn what Loganberry does to Eddie every time he gets a chance. And they live together all day long. They're perfectly fine. We never even would think about separating them or calling it a real problem. It's something that we work to try to prevent as much as possible. Obviously, we do. But my point being that Brooke is at the level of interaction that Custard or Loganberry are. So that's good, in my opinion. That's a good thing. We're doing fine. So finally, here we are with Belle. And Belle has already had her breakfast. I'm going to just set it out here now that she's had so much of it. That's good. Belle, I think, has been getting a little more desperate to get away from her kittens and have some adult time now. And I don't mean that she's in heat. I don't think she is yet. Maybe. Could be, maybe, but probably not. I just mean that every time I come in the room, she wants to come out and hang out with me and take a break from her kids and sit in my lap and watch some TV. Because those are the things that she really likes to do. I think even now she's thinking about, I'm sitting right in front of the box so she can't really get out, but I can tell she's thinking about it. Like, why don't you move out of the way so I can come out there, have some adult time. Anyway, so guys know, I think you heard the news, Belle is obviously the mom of these kittens and also the mom of Tinker downstairs and therefore the grandmother of the kittens downstairs. But these three kittens are Belle's babies, and they are all girls. We decided, and with the vet's help and some further examination, that Belle's kids are in fact all female. So that's, I guess, just something to know. We haven't updated all the places where we call them boys yet, including in my brain. So you may still hear me call them he for a while, but we know that they're not. Yes, Bill Lawrence. Yeah, well, I'll be a monkey's aunt. Doesn't have the same ring to it, but that's funny. So, I know we should definitely weigh them like we've been doing every morning, and that'll give us a chance to have a look at them together up close and see how their eyes are doing. By today, I would expect their eyes to be mostly pretty well open. Let's take a look. I feel like there's so much stuff I wanted to tell you guys today that now I've just forgotten, and we're getting real close to our 20-minute limit, which we're going to go over for sure, but I'm just saying. One thing I really wanted to talk to you guys about that I didn't yet is the fact that the Kitten Academy live stream, the regular Kitten Academy live stream that I'm always telling you guys, go look at it. It's 24 hours a day, no problems. We had a little technical glitch this morning. It was offline for almost a half an hour. Which is, it's been rare for us. So I apologize for that, the fact that we were off for almost a half an hour. I'm going to do what I can to try to keep that from happening again, but I'll be honest, I'm not going to get around to making any changes or trying to figure it out right now this morning. It's not a super high priority now that it's working. So hopefully it will stay consistent and won't fail again until I get a chance to check it out and see what we can do to improve the consistency there. That half an hour today rather, hopefully it's the only half an hour for a year, in which case we still keep something like close to 4 or 5 nines of uptime, which is acceptable. But if we fall much more than that, I'm going to feel really bad. So. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. We had an internet outage, and we have a backup internet connection, but for some reason that I haven't quite figured out, we couldn't switch over to the backup internet connection. It wouldn't work, even though it seems like the backup internet connection was working. The switching over to it was not. and that's why we were completely offline for a bit. So my apologies. Okay, enough about that. We're over 20 minutes already. We haven't even started doing little close-ups and weighing the babies. So let's weigh some babies. Um, all right, we'll start with Foghorn. I know Belle just wants some love. Look at what a sweet old cutie pie you are. I know. Such a shiny coat, too. Oh, she's got the shiniest fur. All right, Foghorn. No, I know. She just hit Foghorn. She does that. It's one of the ways she's like, don't take my baby. Smack. Um, so here's our little Foggy. I know. Well, we got some great light coming in that window, though. You look real good today, Foggy. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's weigh you. Let's weigh you. What do you weigh today? Oh, the scale turned off. Hang on, Foggy. Let's take you out for a sec. Let's put you on the floor, out here, like a big kid. All right, here we go. One more time. Foggy weighs 11.7 today. Good job, Foggy. 11.7. And the thing I think Fog is going to be a long-haired kitty. She's got a lot of floof, but my favorite thing about her is her crazy tail. Her tail is like a giant triangle, like a cone, like an ice cream cone. Like if it were just a little bit bigger, I think I could pass her off as a chocolate chip ice cream cone. Seriously, look at that thing. That is a crazy fat tail. She blends in with the camera pretty well. You guys have the same color scheme going on. Look at all that. So yeah, I think that tail's probably also another indication that she's really gonna floof up at some point. She's so cute and noisy. So that's Foghorn. Oh, good job, Mom. Belle has been such a good mom. I know she spends more time away from her babies than most do, but she also takes perfectly good care of them. We've had some mom cats that really don't, where there's just poop everywhere, and we've got to poop the kittens every day, and we even have to feed them a lot. These kids, it's just been spotlessly clean all the time, and that's all because Belle takes care of it. Okay, let's go. Beep, you should be number 2. I know you're busy nursing, but let's. Come on, let go. There you go, Beeper. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, little Beep. A little tiny Beep blep. Oh, okay, you took care of it. Beep's eyes are almost open. We got one that looks like it's most of the way and one that's about halfway. I hear you, Beeper. Okay, let's get your weight. So that's our little Beepy girl, and she weighs 10.2, we're going to call it. 10.2 for Beep. Hi, Beep. Hi. Trying to hold your head up really is hard work, isn't it? It makes you shake. Like you're lifting all the weights. I know. Well, you got a big, heavy head. I know you do. Well, tell us about it. Really? Okay, Beeper. Okay. We'll put you back. There you go. All right, that leaves Klaxon. Little Klax. Come here, Klax. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go. And these eyes look like they are pretty wide open. That's looking good, Klax. You were way ahead. Head of the Klax. Head of the Klax. All right, I did it. That's a joke that I'm probably going to get a lot of mileage out of now. Okay, Klaxon weighs 10.5. 10.5. So there we have it. All right. Well, I don't want to get too far and too much time on this. Oh, Klax, so loud. Oh my gosh, so loud. I don't want to have to go all day on this close-up. Okay. Here you go, right back to your mom. It's fine. Belle hardly minds anymore when we pick him up. I want to say thank you guys so much. I know I'm still a little distracted this morning. The internet being down thing really threw off my timing. That's why we're late to the close-up stream. I had to stop everything I was doing and go try to investigate and try to get the stream back online. And I was lucky enough that it seems like it was going to take me a long time to try to sort it out, and then the internet came back up. So before I had a chance to really solve it. and that was fortunate. But it still threw me off a bit, and that's why we were a bit late. So you got my apologies for that. I want to say thank you again to everybody for joining me this morning, and I really enjoyed reading some of the chat, what I could while I was doing this. And Yeah, I guess that's about it. As usual, if our internet holds, you can tune into the regular Kitten Academy live stream to watch these kids. As Wendy and Gary says, you can check out our website, kitten.academy, for some good close-up photos. And we'll do this again tomorrow in the morning. I did mention that we're going to start next week. We're going to try doing these a little bit later in the day. Next week will be starting on Sunday. We're going to try to do these a little later in the day, just for a week, just to see how it goes. But this week, we're still going to see you in the morning. So tomorrow, we'll see you in the morning. And that's it. I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. Hey, little beeper. Oh, hi. Hi, you're too cute. How can I end the stream when you're being so cute? Can you guys hear that little tiny... I'm going to be quiet for a minute. I want to see if you can hear the kitten purr. The kitten purr is the one that sounds almost like clicking. Do you hear it? Yeah, so anyway, happy little kittens. All right, thank you guys again. I really appreciate spending this morning with you. It helps me get my mind off of the internet issues and back to the chores I got to get done this morning. Make sure all these kids are taken care of. So yeah, there we go. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much. I will see you again tomorrow. Oh, I got to end the stream even though they're being really cute. It's a good angle. I love it when their ears wiggle when they're nursing. The cutest thing. Okay, really? Bye. For real.